Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Ryan.
The cameras are shaking. Whoa. Randall's at a rave, a sweet rave party. I think Deb broke her camera.
No, I had to fix it.
Woo.
Okay.
I'm actually just...
Welcome to
We were
Ryan,
natural-
everyone.
We were natural disasters.
Oh, most
More
of you
than you-
are. And at least one of you is a
Already.
bisexual disaster.
Same
More
exact
than
joke we
usual.
made.
Yep. So, welcome back to
Words.
Rhyme, everyone. As I try to wrestle control from the cats. We're back again for more adventures in Rhyme, and as some of you may know that play this game or have been in the DM's chair, part of our job as the DM is to lie to the players, to try to bamboozle them and keep them on their toes. And I have done that today, dear viewers and listeners, because you can't see anything unless you're just enjoying the Somek in front of you. I told the group there was a question, and then I told 3 other people the real question. Because one thing that's very important for a DM is to have players and to appreciate their players. So I decided earlier this week that I would be doing random player appreciations questions, and I rolled the dice, and I came up with Deb. So Deb,
I didn't get a question.
yeah, you have been bamboozled. So we all made
Okay.
signs.
Rob's is backward. No, Scoots is backward. I can't read it. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
impressed,
like
dude.
I couldn't
Yeah.
pick just one word for you, so you got dependable, because I can absolutely depend on you to RP with me at like literally any time. Encouraging, in part inside the game, but also outside the game with my sewing initiatives. Also brilliant, because Jesus Christ, you were fucking smart, but also banging, because you're gorgeous.
Aw.
Thank you.
I claim next. I said inspiring because you consistently do. Your extensive backstories and your amazing maps, and like the amount of care that you put into your characters inspires me to do better at mine, and I love it.
I put Goofy with googly eyes in place of the double O's, and for the listeners, there's a raccoon in sunglasses giving like peace symbols, because Deb brings this like joy, like this unbridled nerd goofy joy to everything she does, like her characters, to her art, and just like chit chat before games and stuff. So
I don't
that's
know
my
how
favorite
you knew,
picture.
but in like literally every picture of me as a kid, I'm doing the double peace sign.
Oh no!
Really?
Amazing.
I don't think anyone knew that.
Yeah.
And Mind
Psychic
Folks,
link.
yep, Mind Folks says great things in small packages, because while Deb is quite a small lady, and I think she might be the smallest amongst us,
I am the smallest.
she is fantastic, and not only do I really treasure her friendship, but Deb is one of the cornerstones of Ryam, because a lot of Ryam was a fucking fever dream until Deb asked me something, and I'm like, oh, I need to figure out how the moons work, because Deb asked me about the moons, and I don't know how many moons there are. Because I am the great and powerful DM.
Well, thank you guys. That's awesome. My question was a little bit not as inspiring. Do you want me to still answer it?
If you'd like. It's your appreciation day, Deb.
So my question, since I've been done a bamboozle, was if you folks could bring a franchise into Ryam, what would it be, and how would it look, work in your world? I actually misread the question. I thought it would be what Tessa would want, so I thought that probably like a Chicky and Pete's. Like, I immediately went to food. I was thinking like a Wendy's or a Dairy Queen for like the palate on the go, right?
When you
Like
gotta
take
have
off.
spicy nugs, you gotta have them.
You gotta have
Blessed
spicy
burger
nuts.
for the palate on the go.
Yes, I'm sure we can
Blessed
workshop
burger.
this. Some kind of fast food chain. Well, thank you. I am touched.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that out of the way, we'll head in, folks, because last week was a heck of a week. After 2 sessions of hunting down Mecha, the Warforged with the rifle, you found them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
You got them. You brought the Warforged low along with that rogue that had been part of the party, so now there is possibly one left, the druid. But you all have returned home safe and sound to the peaks after some, a quick rest. Thanks from Nina of the Shadow Legion. And some of you went on a little shopping adventure, as you also found a new companion, Ember, the Kitsune woman that did not seem to know a whole lot about who she was. So I think, Kate, we did a little work in RP, if you want to talk about that.
We did. We had a little bit of off-camera work on kind of digging into Ember's identity. So what we found out, courtesy of some help from the High Priestess Neri, who's an empath, and Radana, Ali's mom, who's also a healer, is that she's one of the original Kitsune who came out of the Hells. Basically, the Kitsune all started out as demons. They were bonded, passive voice carrying a lot of weight there, with nature spirits. And it turned out that basically two other of the original Kitsune, Gusby and Haraz, were the kind of they drained nature spirits and forced them to bond with the then demons, now Kitsune. There was a whole back and forth between nature and the demons over that whole thing, and basically what it came down to was Ember, whose given name is Asa, was kind of pulled into the world tree and basically imprisoned there as punishment for what Gusby and Haraz did. Haraz may also be in the tree. It's uncertain. Nobody knows entirely. She knows that Gusby was not in the tree. He was pulled away. Let's see what else. Also, she's basically cursed by the tree that she can't, think about Gusby too much because she loved him and that's her punishment. She's now also technically under the wardship of Tessa and Neri, because she's technically an Astral Sea prisoner, and so she's been instructed, or Tessa and Neri have been instructed to bring her before the goddess Allura and figure out what's going to be done with her.
I think Neri likes the word counselor more than warden. It seems less prison.
She's technically your ward.
Yes, I know.
We also did some shopping.
We did do some shopping.
Did some shopping. So we'll get to the consequences of the shopping in a few moments. But those two, so Ali and Tessa took Ember on that field trip. Kiki and Nikki have stayed behind to do, their sort of tinkering and whatnot. Nikki doing, lamenting over the fact that Daddy Thrax told her she couldn't have any nice books.
Damn you, Thrax!
By the way, was Kiki able to salvage any armaments or anything from, the...
Make me a tinkering check.
So, with proficiency and intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna do the thing. 27.
You are. So his pistol, his revolver, like an old West 6-shooter, is there, and you're not exactly sure how it works, or you have a basic ammo goes here, it comes out. So you're sort of looking okay, that's probably how it fires. But the more intricate stuff of it, you might have to pop it apart and hopefully put it back together. The Giselle is fucked. Tessa saw to that. You're not putting that back together.
Also, correct. How big is that compared to Kiki anyway?
It is taller than Kiki.
Yeah.
And the kickback right? From it would probably put Kiki on her butt. So
I was picturing the gun from Team Fortress 2, Sasha.
Yeah. It's like an old-fashioned sniper rifle. If Tessa held the gun and,
more like the Bizarre Bargain.
Yeah. The rifle, though, this kind of bolt-action thing, was also there for the taking.
Yep. She'll just snatch him up.
Okay. So again, Kiki, you think, it is, with that role, it is in your wheelhouse to sort of figure out how to use these things, but you're going to have to take some time to kind of, again, take them apart, figure out how do you make ammo for this, or seek some other people that might know how to do that.
Yeah, she's mainly interested in something that has she loves her boomstick, but it's got a 20-foot range, right? So she's looking for something that might, give her a little more distance. But yeah, she'll mull it over. Thank you.
Yep, so you have those. Nikki, were you up to anything, or you just, now that you're back home and Phyllis has put a whole bunch of paperwork in front of you, or are you just doing it?
Sulking about books, but not that much because I'm back home and I have my own damn library. Thank you very much. 2 or 3 episodes ago, there's a spell that I wanted Phyllis to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
It has left my memory. But if I find it, can we say that he taught me?
Sure.
Was it Scry? It was
Scry.
It wasn't Scry.
No.
It wasn't Scry.
It was
no,
another
it was
one
like
after
a
that.
utility, like just like a small utility spell.
Well, it sounded like we don't have them recorded, and you could go back to find out.
I'm gonna have to go back and like try and scrub through and find it.
I like
If
that
I ever
your tone.
get around.
I have to go back and listen to our old episodes. So painful.
They are rather long, and I'm looking. It's not that I don't like listening to our episodes. I do. It's that I'm looking for like one sentence in the middle of like 6 hours of content because I don't remember which
Fair.
week it was even.
Fair.
I wish you could just control F audio.
Yeah, like throw it in some auto transcript or something. Anyways, if I ever find out what that was or remember it,
Yeah,
I'll
Phil,
do
you
that.
have plenty of time for
Otherwise,
Phyllis to teach you.
paperwork, study time,
Yep. Okay.
etc.
So you two are notified that your Doshi associates have returned.
Or Doshi Asoshi.
Your Doshi Ashoshi. Ember is missing. She has been left in the care of the keep. Like, she's not gone. Like, you know where she is.
When you started that sentence, I was getting a little bit stressed. Okay.
Yeah. She's been left in on Shin under the prophetess for the time being until they can figure some things out. She still has a lot of recovering to do from the prophetess is able to help unlock memories with her empathetic and sort of psionic powers, but that is a long process to fix neuro pathways and memory. You don't just do that in one go. As skilled as
Not
she
even
is.
to mention the just overall mental trauma from that.
Yeah, so she's gonna, but luckily she is in one of the safest places on the continent currently. So, but I think Tessa, you return, and although somebody else went with you on the trip.
Yes, that's true. Ember was really adamant that Somek accompany us on our shopping trip, which he was more than happy to do and to go see what's going on in Anshin. And he came back with some presents. Do you want me to describe what those presents are?
Yep, because you would probably head back to the temple, which is where all the geckos tend to stay because it's warm there.
Yeah, they have their own like quarters in the temple in the back because they are lizards, so they need to be warm. Which actually leads into one of the things that Somek did get, which are little colorful scarves from Draca Arcana that will allow them to be in the cold and not die because they're cold-blooded. So he picked out specific colors for all of his gecko friends. So he passed those out so they can kind of go out and do their work in the cooler months. And the other thing he comes back with is he's carrying a little cart full of carpets, and they all kind of pop up into the air, and they're now magic carpet riding geckos. So that's a thing now. We won't tell Phyllis.
Of course they are. Yeah, don't give him advance warning. Just let Phyllis find out when they fly by the window.
There's they give it 2 or 3 to a carpet. So there's going to be some shenanigans, especially when it starts getting really nice out.
Gecko Armada. Is Tessa at one point going to go, "Fly, my pretties, fly"?
It's like the Wicked Witch of the West. It's the monkeys flying now. That's the Halloween costume this year. Dressing up all the geckos as the monkeys.
I want one of those old-timey, like, war posters with Tessa standing there, very heroic, and, like,
streaks
flying
of
out from behind her, streaks of geckos on flying carpets behind her, like in this aura. Like, support your champion is what's been saying.
Tessa
Are you
needs
gonna disappoint these geckos? You can't disappoint. Like, you can disappoint me, but don't disappoint the geckos.
That's really funny.
But yeah, those were that was a little RP sesh
Mhm.
shopping adventure.
Now, the other important thing that happens is with the help of some of the folks at the temple, when Somek comes back, his friends take this opportunity to throw him a party. Somek does a lot for the geckos, because most of them are very, very silly beings that often get hurt, and Somek is often taking care of them. And there's basically Barry, the leader of the geckos, declares it Somek Day for now and forever on this day. Does he have the authority to do that? No, but he's going to anyway.
We'll allow it.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is, you folks are free to move about, to do anything you'd like to do, as this is sort of a calm after what happened before.
So I'm curious. Kiki's not, but where are Kiki's parents? Are they staying somewhere on the like, in town or on the grounds or something?
So they were left off at the estate.
Right.
Yeah,
Because that was the closer point in the temple.
Laudelin Red Braids has some cabins at the edge of the Brazen Vine that like travelers and hunters and stuff stay at. So it's just a little bit to the west of the estate. So they're set up in one of those right now. There's also an inn at the town, but I have not built the town, so I don't know where it is yet.
Yeah. Because the Quillback, as it has grown into a small town alongside of Summit Vale.
Actually, we'll say that Laudelin, either her or maybe one of her family members or something, does run an inn that's very close to the actual estate in the small sort of town that sprung up there called the Silver Bell. So we can go get them if we need to.
Yep, so we'll say both the Kangoose are there, as well as those Goliaths and Orcs that you rescued from that, wherever you were.
We should offer them work at the temple or the town if they want to stay. Yeah, I'd do that.
It's probably easy to notice, especially for the characters who have high perception, that Kiki is not
everyone but Nikki.
Kiki is not mentioning anything about her parents. She's more absorbed than usual in her shack. Like suddenly, this new pistol and revolver, this rifle, they're so fascinating,
conspicuously interesting.
She just needs. That's so like.
Just can't be torn away.
Yeah, like she. And with Tessa's, empathy, if she gets anywhere near, it's like inside Kiki's a royal of emotions, but like she's just using her intellect to focus on like. Yeah.
I think Tessa's going back and forth between, oh shit, do I leave her, let her process this, or do I go in and try to like do something? So she's kind of teetering on that edge. It's only been like a day, so that's the huge bombshell. But she would be available and would tell Kiki, like, if you just want to chat or anything. If you don't, that's cool.
Okay. Kiki doesn't know. Like, she doesn't know what she needs or wants, and like.
How do you even deal with that?
She was abandoned so long ago, and she just dealt with it, and she moved on. She was like, whatever, and now she's just like this swirl. Like, she like assumed they didn't want her, and then it seems like they might, but like, what does that mean? Why did they get in such financial trouble? Like, just all these things as like a young adult Kenku. She's all of 15, but like for Kenku, that's early adulthood. Yeah, like. She's a royal and she doesn't know what the fuck to do, so she is going to just lose herself in work.
So I rolled the fate die, so Thrax is going to do something.
Oh god.
So Kiki will find that one day, like maybe like the second-ish day, there's a knock on her shack, a very careful knock on her shack door.
Kiki slides a little bolt back onto the shack door, which is
it's
very low because she's short. So she's like, yes.
And it's Thrax. And he has like a bag of stuff with him.
Yes. Can help? Can Kiki help?
Sure. I was hoping I could talk to you for a second.
Kiki kind of sighs a little bit and opens the door, and she kind of like shoves some stuff out of the way.
So he can get in.
Equipment so he can get in. Hi, she says.
Hey, look, I can't stay long. We're trying to make sure the geckos don't fall off those new carpets that Somek bought, because that is a real problem. Some of them are very overzealous, but I want to say one thing, and you don't have to say anything else. And he puts down the bag, and he goes, in the bag are some biscuits, some canteens of water, and some fresh clothing that should work for you in case, you need. I know you're doing a lot of work, but parents are hard. Family's really hard. So if you ever want to talk about anything, I'm happy to listen.
Wait, so the clothes and stuff are for Kiki or for Kiki's parents?
For you. Like, he brought you... He doesn't know, like...
Kiki sniffs her overalls
Yeah.
and realizes she hasn't really changed.
Right, that's what he's figured, is like, it's like a fresh it's a fresh laundered pair of overalls and like some food that can sit out and be fine. Like, what is like fantasy granola bars and like water. It's like enough to, he knows you don't eat a whole bunch, so he just figures this stuff will hold.
Like a bird.
Yeah. So
One might say.
Like, and he just, it's very clear to Kiki's eyes, even or say, like, he's not looking, this is not an intervention. He just put some stuff down there, and he's like, yeah, if, there's those of us in the group that have more complicated family situations than others. So, I'm not you, but if you need to just yell or talk to somebody, or if you want to go flying about it, I'm around.
Thank you. She's just kind of quiet. Yeah, she doesn't really say a whole lot. She's not used to, like, there's so much that Kiki is not used to, and this kind of like really deep empathy and compassion, like battle friends down, right? Like, we're in it, we're trying to survive, we've got an objective, but this sort of like emotional support being of Thrax, she doesn't quite know what to do with it, so she'll just kind of like sit with him for a little bit and then like make motions like maybe that he could go or something.
Yeah, he'll ask you some polite questions about the guns, and then once he notices Kiki being like a little more antsy, he will excuse himself and extremely gingerly walk out of that place because he thinks most of it's going to explode. I don't know how wrong he is, but that's what he thinks. And he just he makes sure he leaves the care package in a place that is visible, so you don't forget about it. And then he just closes the door, and you hear him take off into the sky.
Kiki turns on like half the machines in her place just to make background noise, and she just bursts into tears.
Aw, Kiki.
I know. That's all. She really doesn't know. She really feels kind of paralyzed. Like, she was like, I'm Kiki and I'm on my own. Then she's like, I'm Kiki and I have a mentor who teaches me things. And then she's like, oh, I'm Kiki with adventuring friends. And now, like, the fuck? So it's kind of, she just put that behind her. Like, she dealt with it the best she could. And now it's like rewriting history for her. So yeah, she's got lots of things to do and feels to do.
Lots of feels.
Which is a huge deal for Kiki.
Small bird, big feels.
That's right. It's a small bird, big field kind of day. Yeah.
So Kiki sits with that for a little while, and then eventually probably goes back to tinkering with whatever. And a couple beats after that, you do see two geckos on a carpet just whizzing by at top speed, and Thrax desperately trying to keep up with them and make sure they don't fall, because one of them is on the back of it holding on by their tiny arms.
Are those carpets faster than he is now?
So Phil's been tinkering with them, so
Oh, no.
one of them is.
Oh dear God.
So they're on essentially like a motorcycle.
Yeah, and Thrax is running, so he's sort of keeping pace because he can go pretty fast, but he's Yeah, it's a
We might need
you
to send
just hear
Allie
like
for that one.
yeah, so you see Allie running beneath it, keeping up, but it's above Allie, so Allie's doing that like firefighter thing of like trying to like figure out where the gecko is gonna go. And that's
Once,
what
by
you
the way,
see out the window.
once she eventually resurfaces, Kiki will make goggles for all of the geckos because I just love the image of geckos with these big,
The leather
because their eyes are
hats.
sizable,
Yeah.
right? Like with these big, like old school, kind
Oh
of
my
like
God,
flying
God,
goggles.
like
That's
the
old driving,
goggles.
yeah.
The big like steampunk goggles and the scarves,
Mm-hmm.
like they're on
Oh.
an airplane.
Those
So
Wright
cute.
brothers.
100%.
I hope they don't die. I did not think about this.
They're having a good time though, and that's the important thing. So would anyone else is anyone else need to do anything, thinking about things, want to talk to folks?
It's good. I'm assuming the other thing that's happening in RP is a thing that has not happened yet, or
It has not
Okay.
happened yet, no.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing. I
No,
mean,
nope,
we have one more of that gang left out there, but I think we've deserved some R&R after after the last one.
Yeah, little hot springs action, please.
Yes.
Alright. Hang on. Okay. Thrax is the one that comes to Tessa this time. And he's, he's in his casual clothing. Tessa, you're up in the temple, kind of in your quarters, and you see Thrax just sort of sitting. He and Bosco are just staring at each other. And it looks like both of them are they're having a conversation that you can't hear. But they're just sort of deadlocked into each other as if they're like having some great philosophical debate.
Why do I feel like this happens a lot?
Because it does.
Alright, well, I'm gonna, not gonna bother that because I feel like if I interrupt this stare, there's gonna like lasers come out or something.
Okay.
Like, hey guys, just passing through. Don't mind me.
But Tessa, maybe you can settle this.
What's the argument?
So, I was thinking after everything that happened the last couple of bit between Kiki's parents, Robo McFuckface, Rogue McFuckface, the Shadow Guy,
Yeah, there's been a lot of death threats lately.
yeah, I feel like though we could use a vacation, and Bosco and I are going back between should we go to the beach or should we go to the mountains?
Well, you mean like the local mountains?
No, like somewhere else. Like maybe the Springs, the Feywilds, at the Crossroads or something like that.
Okay, if you were gonna say the local mountains, I would say it's still probably a bit cold for that. That's a tough decision. Maybe we should get the gang and get their opinions.
Yeah, let's do that.
Beach or a Feywild mountain adventure.
Oh god.
Both sound really good.
Does Feywild have beaches? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe the summer court does.
Summer Court would.
And you know someone at the summer court.
Nikki is more interested in the beach,
Yeah. No, she's spring court. I lied.
but
Yeah,
only barely.
I'm thinking like mountain house versus beach house. That situation. Because what you're feeling.
Beach cabana, cozy
Beach
little
cabana.
cabin. Oof.
Kiki's vaguely more interested in the mountains, but she really is not, and she's like, either one's fine with her.
Allie!
You have to break a tie.
Say it.
Save us!
Well, with the wisdom of King Rin, I suggest, why don't we go to the Crossroads, because we could probably spend a couple days in the Feywilds, like in the mountain areas, and then like a couple of days maybe like near Summer Court.
Oh, right, then we'd only actually be going like one day. Or, I don't know how time works there. Maybe we'd be
Depends
gone
on
for like
how
a
much
week.
the like heads of the courts like you.
Yeah, Kiki's happy to go along if the vote is beach. Like she's
Both.
never really spent
I
never
mean,
really spent time, but like
Very well, could probably do both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
is
good.
good. Both is good.
Yeah, I think it's settled. I think we're just gonna do both. We've earned it.
Off to
Okay.
the crossroads,
Okay.
then.
Which first? Mountain first actually I think makes more sense because you don't have like
It's
sand
just
in your
like-
shoes when you're
it's
hiking.
much more likely to get sunburned, and nobody wants to deal with sunburns once you're up in the mountains and walking around.
Yep,
Oh, I burn really easily. It's no good.
mountains first.
And Threx looks at he looks at Nikki and goes, "Do you want to invite your boyfriend? Can you invite your boyfriend?"
I mean, isn't he always there? How does that work?
Nikki looks really confused for a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, you mean Elzoff?"
Yeah. And Thrax doesn't even he doesn't know what the title is, so he's like, question mark?
Sugar dragon.
Yeah, like-
Yeah, just Elzoff works, I guess. Yeah, we can invite him. He'll show up whether or not we do, anyways. So
I'm really curious about like an icy proto dragon at the beach. I gotta say.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So I'll think at Elzoff and be like, "Yo, I'm sure you were already listening, but we're going on a vacation. Want to come?"
I'm sorry, I was eating pancakes. What's happening?
Fascinating. We're
Oh, I
going
love
to
pancakes.
Feywild's-
They're the best.
Pancakes
Although
are
it's a
pretty
much
good.
different taste between a human when tasting it through a human and tasting it through a dragonborn.
Really.
Yeah.
The like taste buds are that.
Yeah, the
different?
mouths are slightly different, so you sort of get different textures and eat it in different amounts.
Oh. I've never thought about the quality of differences between D&D fantasy races.
That's why tieflings can eat very, very spicy foods.
Yeah.
Dead heat resistance.
Well, that's distracting. Anyways, yeah, we're going to the mountains and then the beach in the Feywild.
Oh, I'm not much of a beach person. But mountains sound fun.
All right, come along for half the trip and then flap away.
Yeah. Maybe I'll drop by.
Great. We'll see you there.
Okay. And everyone's just staring at Nikki. Because only
Yeah,
Nikki can hear that.
I'm just like staring off into the corner, like I'm just like completely spaced out.
Anyway, Allie, you should try and see if you can get Cam and Bendo to leave their post for a little bit. I bet they'd like to come.
I hope they will. Allie messages them quickly with the earring.
So Kem's response is, all right, I gotta see if I can reshuffle some things. And Bendo's like, oh, I'm already packing. And then he looks to you. He looks again at you, Tess, and goes, do you want to bring the geckos? I feel like we shouldn't leave them unsupervised here.
Oh, Phyllis is around. No. Well, no, there's other people that can look after the geckos. I think, yeah, I love the geckos very dearly, but I think we'd be hurting them more than we would be having a vacation for ourselves at that point.
Good point.
And there's plenty of adults around that can handle it. And Tibbins is still around too. He can handle it.
All right, then. Cool.
Cool.
How do we get there? He says.
Probably Heartway to one of the cities that have the portal. I know Anshin has a portal to the Crossroads, so we can just do we can do a layover.
Layover on shit.
Yeah, just do like the 2-flight thing. Yeah, there's no direct flight. We have to take a connecting flight. So
Obviously.
So everyone packs, gets their stuff together, and you Heartway to Anshin, and there is a gateway to the Crossroads within the sort of main keep in Rin's castle in Anshin. You are given clearance to go in there and use it, and you folks find yourselves in a very familiar place you haven't been to in probably over a year. You find yourselves in the Crossroads in the Feywilds.
Is it spring now? It's spring now, right? It's like March-ish, April?
It would be... I mean, it's whatever season. It reflects
Let's say it's spring.
Ryam, so it's going to be probably more towards fall and winter.
Wait, what?
Sorry, no. I'm fucking up the timeline. So it is...
It should be like March or April.
yeah, it's heading into spring in the Crossroads.
Basically, cherry blossoms everywhere.
Oh.
Because I love cherry blossoms, and they last for the entire season.
So you leave the bitter cold of the northern reaches of the peaks, and you feel the warmth of summer, of like early spring kind of flowing over you. It's actually probably a little warmer than it should be for this time of year.
I don't know who could have done that.
And Allie, you and Tessa see somebody that you are quite familiar with, as a sort of darkish brown Minotaur is walking around. He has golden filigree all over his clothing. He bears a labyrinth symbol on his shirt. He carries a very large glaive on his back, and he seems to be talking with a human gentleman, probably about this, smaller than him, obviously, because Minotaurs are quite large creatures. But that one has a more rangery hunter look to him. He's cloaked, big longbow, and they are just kind of moving through the street when the Minotaur looks over. Oh no. I didn't know there was a fox hunt happening today, he yells over to Allie.
Yeah, well, nobody's kicked your ass with the glaive in a long while, so I figured you might need some humbling.
You use a stick.
Glowy stick.
Ugh. And most of you see the two beings approach, and the Minotaur is even larger when you see him. He's probably as big as Tessa, maybe is slightly bigger in height, and also like equal in width. Tessa.
I don't know Walker.
Tessa doesn't know Walker, I don't think.
I've never met him before in my life. Because
Well,
the only time I was there was Christmas.
Right.
Ellie immediately jumps up and gives him a big hug.
Yep,
It does require her to jump up.
Yeah, and he just sort of like, he's not, his arms aren't out, she's just latched onto him.
Yep. Hey Walker, hey Hunter. Guys, Walker, Hunter, this is Tessa, Benkala. Yes, one of the other Benkalas.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 of you. So.
There's a lot of them. Lady Nikki Doxborn. Let's see, that's Tessa's fiance Thrax. This is Kiki. She's a tinkerer. This is my partners Kem and Bendo. I think that's current. Oh no, that's Bosco. I can't not introduce Bosco. Very important.
Yeah, he looks pissed that you thought you were gonna. Like, he's on Thrax's back in his little papoose. He looked very indignant that you were gonna forget him.
Everyone, this is Walker and Hunter. I briefly went to school with them when I was here for a year.
Yep, and he bows before, actually Bendo, because he does know Bendo, that he's on Lycan, Walker, and she walks up and gives him a hug. It's a very different, like very gentle, courtly hug than just leaping up on top of him.
Yep.
Why are you, okay, well, what brings you two, or all of you, to the Crossroads?
Vacation.
Oh. An Aloran vacation?
We're not having a massive orgy, Walker.
Okay. I mean, whatever. Like, you know who runs this place.
I know. But no, it's... we've been actually on a hunt recently. We're 3/4 finished? Probably.
3/4? Yeah.
We've hunted down 3 of the 4 fucks who were the major problem, so it's...
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Now it's time to celebrate.
Ah. Do you have anything booked?
We didn't get that far. We just kind of came here. Something in the spring area?
Where you... Hang on. And where do you want to go?
Some kind of cool mountain-ish area, you know, hiking trails, lakes, kind of thing.
Well, I think the Court of the Forest owes me a favor. I can probably get you something over there.
No, you don't have to, but we'd appreciate it, certainly. Do you guys want to come?
And he looks at Hunter, looks back and he goes, no, somebody's trying to get a date.
Oh, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Allie kind of like whispers to Walker, is it Keo?
He's trying.
Oh, he's gonna succeed. She's just oblivious.
You'd think that. And he slams his fist into the Minotaur's side, but Walker doesn't feel it. Yeah. Go find, who was it? There's a dryad named, ironically, Timber. Yeah. Find them. They have accommodations for guests there. It's a nice spot. It's over in which town was it? It's over in Dewton. It's sort of one of the closest settlements to the Crossroads. They're sort of used to having explorers such as yourself coming in.
Okay. Should we tell him he sent us?
Yeah, here, show him this, and he gives you a like a pressed like flower, like from a book, and gives it to you.
All right. Allie takes it.
Yeah, you know how the
Thanks,
family likes to deal in favors.
Oh, I've noticed.
Yeah, you'll owe me one, he says.
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, and like Hunter's pulling at him and goes, all right, sorry, we gotta go. So enjoy your vacation, everyone. It's lovely to meet all of you. And Tessa, do you want to arm wrestle sometime?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Not now, but
I'll
soon.
arm wrestle anybody. Why not right now?
He looks at Walker and he looks at Hunter and he's like,
Alright,
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
Hunter, just give her lots of food. I promise that's going to solve it. Really.
He just looks at it and goes, I've tried that so many times.
What'd you try giving her?
Meats, cakes. We tried a salad once. That didn't go very well.
Did you try chocolate-covered bacon yet?
Yeah. Walker's like, so you remember how her mom thought your aunt had a cat?
Yeah, I told you she was oblivious.
Yeah, no, that got passed down.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, I can't believe she hasn't realized it yet. Who'd be that oblivious?
Everyone turns to look at Tessa and Thrax.
Yeah.
Except for Thrax. It's like petting Bosco.
Have you tried just being really direct, Hunter?
Well, I heard a story about how Lord Bentos won over Lady Stormbringer with direct flirting, but that involved him exposing himself to her. I don't know if that'd be a good idea.
It
Not
worked.
that kind of direct. You don't need to show her that you're obviously male. She knows that part already. I have broken Randall.
Hunter nods sagely.
Yes.
Tell her,
Going way back.
tell her Keo, I think you're gorgeous and I'm interested in dating you. Would you like to go on a date with me as a romantic interest and not just as friends? Seriously, be that blunt.
He looks at Walker, and Walker's like, look, we've done everything else. We've literally... He, like, pulls out a notebook.
Other than communicates, we tried everything other than using our words.
We tried nothing and we're out of ideas.
Kiki writes what Ali said down on a piece of paper in a notebook, rips it out, and just hands it to him. Like, she's just like... This little kinker just reaches up.
Yeah, he takes it. Thank you, and he hands it to him, and he's... Hunter still looks very trepidatious, and Walker is just, like, putting his hand on his muzzle, like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'm gonna bury you in the woods. Have fun, y'all. And he just sort of...
Bye.
They walk off.
Alright, guess we're heading to Dewton.
Off in Dewton, you get you hop on some coaches, you head there very quickly, and it is a lovely sort of Shire-esque area, lots of little cottages. There's a mix of elves and fae. The fae is kind of bigger, taller, more otherworldly, but there's also a lot of like kind of animal folk kind of hanging out. sort of Narnian-esque ones, though. Like, not like from the Falklands. Like, there is just this large possum person just kind of hanging around, sitting on a well, drinking out of a jug, just, living his life. There are a number of, like, walking, talking badgers, like literal badgers, just kind of, going about their lives. And there are a few treants, ents, and dryads, as long as some druids, just kind of, again, moving around the town. But there's also a mix of mortal plane beings, so humans, dwarves, tieflings, as well as gnolls. There's not as many of them here in this deep into the Feywilds, because you're starting to get out of the you are now out of the lands of the Crossroads into the lands of the Spring Court, but you're close. This is like a border town.
So we'll go find Timber, I guess.
So you find a place called Timber's Tavern.
Sounds like the right place then.
Inside you see a dryad who's just sort of morphed into the bar, as if this tree was grown to be this massive, like, Irish thick oak bar, and they are just moving up and down it, as if, because they are part of the tree, so they're just up and down, up and down.
Excuse me, are you Timber?
Yeah, I am. How you doing?
Damn it, Scoot. Why is that your default? Walker said to come see you. He mentioned that you've got some of the best accommodations in town, and Allie pulls out the pressed flower.
Ah. Yeah, and they reach out for the flower.
The flower?
Puts it right on their head. Beautiful. Alright. Yeah, so Walker did me a favor a little while ago, so I'll go ahead and book you folks some rooms. What are you looking to do? We have a lovely lake, up in some of the more rolling hills and mountains. We got apple picking, we got prune picking, we got berry picking, also you can just kind of relax, over on the lazy river.
I think we were kind of hoping for a lake somewhere we could do some hiking, place to relax.
Yeah, no, we got that. And you see them open up a book, look around. All right. Yeah, you're a big party. We'll put you in hole number 12.
Okay.
Okay. And they go back, they pull out looks to be like a dongle, like this wooden piece of wood on a string, like that might put pants together, and he hands it to you.
I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Is
this your first time in the Springlands?
Yep.
Alright. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to give that to the door. That's your doorknob. You're going to go ahead, and once it's in there, you're going to pull it. It'll open up. You'll be fine.
Okay. Rob, thank you for letting us know that your dog is okay and we should not worry.
I'm not going anywhere near the weird door thing. Open this door for me, please.
Allie will handle the door for you.
With triple disadvantage, Justin.
I don't want to have to waste Kiki's ring on this.
Did he give us a direction to go?
Yeah, he tells you where to go. It is probably about an hour's walk to where where this particular thing is from Dewton.
That's fine.
You folks head there, very leisurely pace, and you can see where you've gone from the rolling Appalachian Mountains, and then it starts to get up into a little more craggy, Rockies, but it looks very green and alive and healthy, but there is sort of snow at the top. It is, again, mostly warm here, but you come up to a cottage that's sort of built like a hobbit hole. It's sort of like Bilbo's house, where it's big, it is clean, big fireplace, can definitely accommodate a lot of people. Do you want to walk up to the door?
Yep.
You walk in.
Nikki will bravely do the door.
Yep, you walk up, you see the door, you do as he says, you put the thread up, the door pulls it in, but leaves enough for you to get a grip. You pull it out and the door opens, and you see a very lovely furnished inside. But there doesn't appear to be a lot of, you look around, there's nowhere to really get food. But inside are trees and bushes that have berries and fruits kind of growing off of them.
Inside the house?
Inside the house.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Fancy and woodland-esque.
Yeah, so Thrax will go up and he'll grab an apple off one of them, and then you will just see an apple just sort of grow in its place.
Oh, it's like Willy Wonka.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, except with like fruit and not candy.
I don't know what you want. I'm sorry the magical room isn't good enough for you. Like,
This magical room is lovely and we are delighted by it. I'm assuming we all immediately like spread out and start exploring, like finding what room we want to claim as ours.
Mhm.
Yes.
yeah. So it's definitely a cabin. There's definitely an area that has a bunch of bunk beds. There's definitely a like master suite that houses like the biggest rooms. This was like a family setup. That's where like mom and dad would be.
Clearly for Bosco.
Yeah.
Obviously. Just Bosco.
Bosco walks in and just kicks the door closed with his back stubs.
Ali, Kim, and Bendo can take like the single twin, like the small sized half of a bunk bed, but it's just one bed, you know.
Yep.
Bosco gets the master.
Bosco gets the master. Like he
It's like on the floor.
allows Tessa and Thrax to be in there. Yeah, but you're free to spread out.
Oh yeah, Kiki would like a high up room if one's available. She's really not picky though.
There are hammocks that are kind of up a bit, but this is a like single floor situation.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Nikki would actually absolutely go for one of the hammocks.
Team hammock.
Very like, I don't know, coastal like seafaring vibe from that.
Normally, Allie would go for a hammock, but with Kim and Mindo here, she's going for a space that they can all share.
Plus, this way I can leave some space for y'all.
They could share the right kind of hammock, but I don't know if these are those.
How hard it is to fuck in a hammock? And shit's unstable.
Is there another bedroom that has a queen in it? Queen
There
size
is.
bed. Then there you go.
Bosco also claims that one.
No,
That's
he
his
can't have
backup
both.
room.
Bosco is informed quite firmly that he can have one or the other, but not both.
He boofs in protest.
Bosco, I have younger siblings. You're not going to do that. It's not going to work.
He narrows his eyes at you, and he boofs.
Still not working. You can also try the puppy dog eyes, but I'm also immune to those.
He moves into the doorway and just stands there. And then he grows to full mount size and stares at you.
Kiki makes a little wind-up toy that like squeaks and bops and beeps and is very fast. And she like winds it up and sets it loose to see if it dips him out the doorway.
Immediately goes after it, but he's in his mount size, so he just starts knocking
dear God.
shit over.
Oh, no.
And then he just hits the door and almost takes it off of the frame, but then shrinks so he can go after it.
He gets stuck in the door.
Yeah, he Pooh Bears himself for a second, but then he
Like
realizes,
mom, like
oh,
son.
shrink. Boom, and he goes down to like corgi size, and then goes after it.
Kiki saving the day again.
We go clean the queen size bed.
I'm gonna go throw our stuff in the other room before he gets that and locks us out again.
It's a good call. That's the
Hey,
safe play.
Tessa, I can pick locks if you need.
It'll be necessary. I'll just break down the door.
On
That-
brand.
Might not be the... We got this
I'm
place for free,
joking.
baby. Let's not wreck it.
I'm joking.
Oh, good.
Do the
Mostly.
windows open? Because if I see Tessa flying out her window later, I'll know that she was a good
Make
one.
it fit out the window.
Maybe they're like French doors or something.
Yeah, like a Juliet balcony.
Oh well, then if they're doors, even if they're French door, I mean,
Mortal enemies of all of Deb's characters' doors and fountains.
Wait, why fountains?
I don't know. I made that up.
wait till next episode.
Yep, you'll
Yeah.
see.
I don't know.
Spoilers.
Time traveling scoots.
Yeah, so you folks
No,
are,
Scoot, stop leaking the script. They can't know.
so you folks are welcome to do whatever you'd like. You got about 2 or 3 days here.
Is there a hot tub?
Yes, Jesus, Deb. Of course, there's a hot tub. What kind of
Is
low
there
rent
a fire
establishment do you
pit?
think this is? There's a fire pit.
Nice.
There's a nice big yard, and you see that Bosco has now like chased the thing, and he's bitten the shit out of it, Kiki. And he's just sort of
was
rolling in the grass, just constantly.
Allie's definitely going to be doing some swimming in the lake.
think
So,
Nikki
Mhm.
is particularly interested in going hiking. So I'll probably do that. I'll do like a loop around the lake while Ali and Kim and Bindo are swimming, so that like we're all still in view of each other, and no one gets lost
Yeah.
in anything.
How is the hot tub powered? Is it mechanical?
Magic.
Is it magical? Okay.
It is a little hot springs that they've reworked to just heat the tub.
Oh. If there was something depending on it, like Kiki might try to like figure out how it works, but I don't think you want
Overclock
her
it.
to. Yeah, I don't think you want. She'll look at the safety instructions though. If they're like, should not heat past this temperature, she'll sigh. I think she'll.
It would have
she'll
been the
spend-
biggest soup she'd ever seen.
I know, right? I think she'll spend some time in the hot tub.
Hot
Um,
tub.
Yeah, very onsen style. It's just kind of. You'll just see her just barely her beak above the water. Just
Towel
just
across
sitting
her
there.
face.
Yes.
Oh yes. Ow.
Yep, so you folks you have 3 days. So, you are fairly safe here. You are free to do as you wish. Again, you just want to
I will do lots of hiking, tree climbing, and swimming.
Okay.
Hiking, hot tub, fire pit, s'mores.
I'm assuming that at least one of the nights we make a big blanket fort in like the main room and I'll sleep there.
Yeah.
That's like a callback to when we were all babies that one time for a minute.
Oh my
Oh,
god, I
yeah.
forgot.
Allie wasn't there for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Allie's like
That was Nina.
Allie's like setting it up, and everyone else was like, "Oh my god, do you remember?" Allie's like,
Times.
"No,
Fuck.
no."
No, I don't.
When Tessa mentions s'mores night, Kiki makes a beeline for the fire pit and starts constructing like the highest, like most
turner.
efficient. No, well, like yeah, but like she's starting with the fire first, right? So like it's like Jenga meets Eiffel Tower. Like it's these pieces of wood where she's
Nice.
like one match. and
Everything's
it'll
gonna
just
fall
burn.
in at just the right time. Love
It's like
it,
a
love
Rube
it.
Goldberg machine, but in the fire pit.
Kind of.
Do we
She's
need
gonna do
to?
that.
Does anything interesting happen when Elzoff comes visit, assuming that he actually does, besides we go fuck for the whole afternoon?
No, he just shows up, and it's a very
Alright,
lovely thing.
Excellent.
Hopefully that hammock's pretty sturdy.
I was
He's in his
imagining
boy
we'd go
form,
find
so.
like a nice clearing in the woods or something.
Yeah.
Kiki wonders why there's so much ice floating on the lake. Like, where she's like figuring the temperature. She doesn't understand.
Kiki, don't worry about it. Don't try
Okay.
to make sense of that.
You have to explain it to Kiki when she's older.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're older.
So you folks are entering your last night in the cabin.
Ghost stories.
Ooh, love it.
Mhm.
Says you're all kind of hanging out. Thrax. Yep, Thrax will wait for kind of a pause and everyone's milling around. He'll look over to Kiki. And he'll sort of mouth to you, Kiki, like, how you doing? And it's that same vibe from that time in the workshop.
Kiki kind of does a little like head side bob thing, and she kind of just sort of like nods because actually this has been a great distraction, like the new environment in general, and like the fire building, fort building, s'more machines, like all of these. Like, while for some people that'd be work, for her it's like a delight, right? Like, and she's trying to perfect a toy for Bosco that is like fast enough to get away from him, but durable if he
They
gets a
catches
hold of it. So she's probably on model like 7 by now. So she actually kind of forgot, like consciously. I
Mhm.
know it's like all royally beneath the surface, but she kind of thought. And she just gives him like a little pat on the hand, like as a thank you for.
Yep, and he'll just nod
Asking.
and the evening continues. Or the evening continues. Would anyone like to do anything, talk to anybody before the night ends and your time in the cabin is up?
I don't think there's anything specific. Just a lovely 3 days of relaxing and
Playing
Swimming.
games, swimming, and hiking, and
Yeah.
fire pits.
Play some
All good
board
stuff.
games.
Okay.
There's like a puzzle that's in there, like a jigsaw puzzle.
There's always a jigsaw puzzle in the closet.
It's missing like 2 pieces, but that's fine.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Bosco's eating them.
I'll once we get everything else in, I'll like illusion the 2 missing pieces into place so that it can be properly admired.
Bosco attempts to eat the illusions.
I'll let him, I guess.
He's like,
Just pat him on the head like, you
I
do
get-
you, buddy.
To roll an intelligence check.
Nope. Just continues
Well,
to nod the
you
table.
know, good effort there, buddy.
Hmm?
Poor Bosco.
So your time is up, and you folks head back to the Crossroads looking for a beach getaway?
Yeah, we'll make sure that we return the key to Timber and thank him and everything.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, beach getaway ahoy.
Okay. So everyone, as you head back to the Crossroads, you realize we don't know where to go. So make some investigation checks, please.
17.
Investigation.
18. I just had to one up you, Tessa.
It had to do it.
16.
16.
Oh, we're all
and-
clustered.
They should go to the Crits and
15
house.
or 19,
Beach
Kiki.
house.
Oh, okay.
23.
23 is also good. Oh my gosh, that would be
So
amazing, though.
Kiki, you everyone's like, there's a couple spots that are like advertising places to go. It's kind of ritzy, and you see sort of like what was referred to as Air D&D, and it's for this place called Shoreside, but it's back on the mortal plane. But there seems to be a way to get to it from here. Or
I don't mind a
Shore
little
Point.
fairy
Shore Point.
ring in my backyard. Yeah. Kiki like points it out. I assume that we all kind of like
Yeah, and it's like
cluster around.
dirt cheap for some reason.
Suspicious,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of into it. Could be a little adventure, a little good story to come out of it, maybe.
Kiki's frugal by nature, so that's a win for her.
Yeah.
Even though she has money now, she's not used to it. So
So on the thing, it gives you a place to drop a message to, and it's signed B, the letter B.
All right,
P for Bosco.
we'll drop a message, I suppose. I don't know. Hey, we're interested in Shore Point.
Yeah, yeah, and you see a
Yeah.
person shows up. They tell you to meet them in like an hour.
Okay.
And it is a dwarven gentleman, big red beard, but I need all of you to either make perception or arcana checks.
That is a suspicious combination of things to want us to roll.
18.
29.
30.
19. What a terrible roll.
Yeah, so
19 terrible?
I have a plus 16 for my arcana.
Wow, that is
that's not
fair.
a great roll. But it is Ali and Kiki that together for your checks now. Like this person is under an illusion. They're not a dwarf.
Kiki just wants to know if they're a druid because she's. When no, we're supposed to be relaxing, but like she's like, what? She's like, what a druid! The druid came after us.
You fucker!
I know.
It's vacation time.
It's some like Saw-esque vacation trap house thing.
No! Want to play a game?
Kiki will probably look at Ali because she assumes Ali's perception
Hello,
is
Tessa.
the change,
You know
and
this
then
beach house has no doors.
and
No!
Kiki will kind of like look at the person, tilt her head, and she's like, "Not you." And she just sort of like makes a gesture like, "This isn't you," like to the person.
And he does a big huff as he leads you into like one of the various like shops in there, and you see the illusion drops and the gentleman grows and the beard comes up into his face as an illusion and his hair grows very long, and before you is a figure that at least Ali knows as King Bentos, the Lord of the Crossroads.
What are you doing being just some random dwarf?
Ali is.
Is this a sex thing? This is a sex thing.
Hey, hi.
I'm not gonna ask. I'm just really not. we've had enough board game dinners with you and Queen Mora to know that I'm gonna not bother asking.
Yeah, you shouldn't. So here's the thing. A little while back, Mora bought a beach house.
Okay.
It's a long story.
Okay.
So
I
sometimes...
imagine it went like she wanted a beach house and then handed somebody some money for it. And now she has a beach house.
Sort of.
Dragon involved.
Sort of. A dragon died. There was some occult stuff. Don't worry about it. House is fine. So, we rent it out to people sometimes, just as, I wish you could all see Rob's face. And he's talking like it's not that big of a deal. Like, look, they were cultists. It's fine.
There is nothing in the world quite so suspicious as pointing out that something specifically isn't a problem.
Yeah.
That no one had considered.
So we like to rent it out, just to make a little bit of money off of it. It's a very nice place. It's on the Mortal Plane, though, so I hope that's cool. It's a very lovely shore town.
Where in the Mortal Plane?
It's down towards the Thousand Isles, but on the southern side.
Oh, that's a nice area. What kind of cult stuff?
It was a dragon, demons. There was a really bitchy woman from like the local beach town board. She's dead now. Mora killed her. Well, Mora and the girls killed her.
We killed her dead.
Am I supposed to be reassured by this?
Kiki will be like, she'll look at the flyer again.
Yeah.
Kiki will look at the flyer again. She'll point to price and she'll be like, cheap, cheap. And you're not sure if she's just making bird sounds or if she's like, she's basically asking. She's like, why is it so? Yeah.
Look, because it's like, a lot of people. Apparently, Air D&D says if there's been an occult or a murder in the place, I have to tell you.
Or a murder cult.
Yeah, or a murder cult. Like, we have to tell you.
Is there any lingering arcane bullshit?
I mean, we had, and he's just, look, they're gonna get a disembodied voice.
Okay.
Every now and again, it's gonna ask you to play a game. You tell it to shut the fuck up. It's very passive. Like it's got a very meek voice. Don't worry about it.
I think that's a bottle thing.
Yeah, it might be a recording. We haven't. There's a lot of vents in there, a lot of tunnels. Don't worry about it. Like they're not big enough for you guys to get in. Your dog won't get in there.
Are those vents big enough for somebody else to get in?
There's one very specific person, but she's off at a retreat at the moment.
That is, to be clear, that is who Allie is asking about.
Yeah.
She's at a retreat for her totally not a cult group.
Yeah.
Because, like,
TM.
Allie can deal with, like, house that had weird cult shit in it. Allie will not be staying in a house where Radia can get into the vents.
Look, he looks at you very square. He goes like, "Look, we had Pug put up wards. They don't stop her, but they stop things she might bring in. She's like a cat.
STDs? Like what?
No, that's not. I mean, she likes to bring animals.
Kiki doesn't know her.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Randall knows a little bit about her.
It's a lovely beach house. I promise you'll have a good time. Maybe you get to kill a demon. You guys look capable.
Cool.
I'm not against it, honestly.
Yeah, why not?
And look,
You're not dissuading me on it.
Look, and like, your friends, the family, your brother's marrying into the family, so we'll give you special. We'll take half off that rate.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Half off the already low murder cult inhabiting rate. Okay.
Yeah, I just need you to do one thing.
What's that?
Is it join a murder cult? Because Kiki's not down.
No, it's not a murder call. So remember that nice woman I told you about that Mara killed?
Mm-hmm.
She has a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently being a bitch runs in the family. I'd like you to mess with her a little. Just a little bit, right? Don't kill her. She's probably not in a murder cult. I don't know that.
Sorry, are you specifically asking me to, on behalf of the Crossroads, prank people?
I mean, if you beat her up, that's fine. But, prank's fine.
Allie looks delighted by the prospect. This is now going to be an excellent vacation.
Yeah, and if you could, make her cry and he hands you a weird piece of metal and goes, and if you can get a silent image in this box, that'd be great. I'd love to show my wife.
I'll see what I can do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'll pay you for that.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wait, who's the person we're trying? I mean, how are they connected to the house? Let's.
So, back when Crits and Tits had, they had found this house, and it was kind of a little bit on the outskirts of the boardwalk, because this is the full boardwalk town, of course. And the woman, the bitch who was trying to make the town a dry town and like a non-sex town, was like kind of running her operation out of there. She summoned like a dragon. We killed the dragon, then we killed her. Apparently, her daughter is now in the mix because plot.
Oh, so she's in the town. It's not the house. I was like,
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Kiki shrugs. She's
Yeah, he
down.
looks. You guys. You know, I don't know, like whipped cream on the face, pig's blood. I don't know what you kids do these days.
Well, that's Allie's bread and butter. I'm gonna stay out of that one. I mean, I could beat her up, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, no. So Allie will immediately turn to Kiki. Might need some help.
Kiki turns, nods. She's like, the wheels are turning in her brain, even on vacation.
Yep.
Especially on vacation.
Yeah, no. I think Allie and Kiki are about to embark on an epic prank montage.
Ben gives you the keys, and he leads you to where the like sort of port would be. You know, once you gather all your, you know, get all the stuff, you get all the supplies you need. He goes, it's a great little town.
We ask where the problem child is and stuff like that, just so we have our bearings.
You know, it's about 2 blocks north from where you guys are.
Okay.
Okay. You do. So he sends you, and you find the place. And it is like a really nice beach house. It's
Posted
huge.
the map in the gallery, by the way. If
Yeah.
you want to take a look. I only did the first floor. There is another floor that has all the bedrooms, but
Right. It's beautiful. There's a pool out there. And, like, Allie, when you rock up, you see signs of your brother's handiwork. As if he had helped to build the house. Or at least fix things. But you also notice a bunch of, like, notices on the door.
I would like to read the notices.
Yeah, they're like noise complaints and like cease and desists and like, you know, like you don't have a permit for the building, but like nothing has
I have a permit
happened.
for that tentacle monster in the pool.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that in the pool? I was like, is that a slide? Like, what's going on? Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Ed,
It might be.
So there's a whole there's a whole bunch of these notices that's on the board that have not been dealt with or have. It looks like somebody drew kittens on them, like angry kittens, in sort of a response.
Kiki wants to pay particular attention to the handwriting on the notices, the original handwriting, just in case.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
do. Yeah, you kind of walk in, and it is a beautifully furnished. Everything's great. There is an immaculate bar. Like, there's boozes from across the world and from different planes.
how recent are the notices?
Last couple of months, probably. There's one that's
Who issued them?
yeah. Her name is.
Karen McCarrenson.
Oh, what's another Karen-like name? Because I think we already used Karen for her. Well, she's Karen Jr.
Karen Jr.
KJ. We'd call it KJ.
KJ.
The name is Nurka.
Nice. It's pretty funny.
Mhm.
Okay. Does she indicate any kind of authority?
No, these are weird like cease and desist orders, but they're not like there is probably some counsel here. None of them carry a seal. None of them are. It's like very passive aggressive notes from a neighbor.
This is
Okay.
fucking next door. Like, this is the equivalent of, like, posting on Nextdoor.
Yeah,
Right.
except she's nowhere near this place. Like, she's probably 4 blocks up north.
Kiki goes over to the bar, and she's gonna look if there is like one of those bartender manuals or books.
Mm-hmm. There is.
She's gonna turn to a random page
Mhm.
and make a big picture of something for whoever wants it. So she doesn't know drinks at all. Like she drinks a little bit, but so she'll mix whatever the hell it is, offer it to her friends.
Those of you that drink would notice that Kiki has made a massive pitcher of mojitos.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Please.
Allie will
Um,
do it mostly for the flavor.
Oh, because you can't get.
Allie doesn't get drunk.
I forgot.
It's hard for me to get drunk, too, because my con is super high.
Kiki's little and she doesn't drink much, so it's easy for her. But she's
Let's
just
get Kiki
like,
drunk.
oh my god. She's like, she'll raise a glass. She'll be like, for inspiration. She means for pranks and stuff. And then she'll toss it back, and she's ready to. People could relax or whatever, but she's kind of raring to come up with like the plan to punk this person. But if people want to relax first, totally fine by her.
I mean, I'll do whatever. Just put my bags down. So there are 4 bedrooms upstairs and another bathroom upstairs, and this was designed to be big enough for 4 sets of couples. So there are like decent sized bedrooms up there. And, like,
So
food
Bosco's
and stuff.
taking 2 of them, so that means we have to share the other one.
But there should be enough space for everybody.
You folks settle in, and you spend the first night there. Then Bendo looks at you, Ellie, and goes, "You want to go on recon?"
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, Kiki, do you all want to come?
This is the next night, you said.
This
right?
is the first evening. It's like
Okay.
you settled in. You've got your you're there.
Okay. Kiki's a little tipsy. She's like, yes, please.
Okay,
Let's do it.
so you all head out. I need stealth checks from everyone, please.
Oh, dear God.
Yes.
Yes. Tetsu, do you leave your armor at home because you're in the beach episode, or are you?
She has it with her in like her bag of
Okay.
holding, just in
Okay.
case.
22.
I got a 5.
Natty 20.
Nice.
Even without your armor,
She almost got a 1.
Wow.
Not for lack of trying. I shouldn't have come on
Uh,
this mission. This was a terrible idea.
18 for Kiki.
I didn't even know where we were going, to be honest. I thought we were going to get food. Like, hey guys, where are we going? Really loudly.
This isn't the Wendy's.
Oh my God.
No, miss, this is an Arby's.
Wow.
So luckily you all passed because Nikki's stealth check managed to keep Tessa from failing you. And you do find this person's place, whereas Ben described it, and perception checks, please, folks, to get some perception or investigation, whichever you would prefer.
Oh.
16. Not awful.
Oops.
Just like generally surprised when it's above a 10.
34.
18. Wow. 34. Nice. Nice.
Just for lulz, let's see what Rob gets.
On a what? Oh,
Perception or investigation. 4.
or investigation.
Or investigation.
It's at a 15.
Nice. Allie sees. Like, this place is almost anally kept clean. Like, everything is within zoning rules, like, to the exact letter. And
Boring.
something you notice, Allie, is that when you were walking, there's a flyer for, like, the parade of homes. And this woman is clearly bucking for first place.
Did you say fucking for first place?
Bucking.
Oh, weird.
Bucking for first
Like,
place.
oh, we're going that route tonight.
You're right,
Is there,
Randall.
like,
It's always,
anything
this is
that,
where it
like,
always
what
goes.
what the folks are going to be assessed on? Like, what's going to
Yeah,
determine
it's
the winner?
going to be theme, presentation, and chutzpah.
And when is it going to happen?
It's tomorrow night. Oh no, it's 2 nights away. 2 nights away.
Okay.
Kiki surveys the yard. Is this Nakar's house or Karen and Nakar? Do they live together?
Well, Karen's
Karen's
dead.
dead.
So Nakar
Oh,
is...
she's dead.
She's dead.
Okay.
She was
sorry.
murdered.
D.
TD.
Okay.
This
got
looks
it.
like it's her house.
Okay. Does she have like yard art of any kind, like lawn ornaments or something like that? Like,
Yeah, and they're just sort of like... Let's see what they're like. A lot of fate dice tonight. Okay. It's...
roll for yard art.
Even Kiki, who's more maybe like less thematically minded at times and more very calculating, like it's sort of gauche. It's going for some like southern plantation gentry thing, and like it's just not. It's
like a fake well.
Yeah,
Like a fake well with like fake flowers.
Yeah.
and,
Tacky.
Mhm.
it's like it's.
Mhm.
Whoever did this, if it was her, some people pay. Like they did a good. It's a good job, but it's the design is flawed from the beginning. So like the flowers look great, and they like on their own in the trust that's there, they look fine because it's someone knew what they were doing. But like this was broken from the start. But people tried to
Right.
salvage it.
All right, I got a very specific question. Are there garden gnomes?
There are
Or figurines of any kind?
there are figurines.
Hard to-
There's
Okay.
there's like cherub fountains. There's a
Okay.
odd.
Live, laugh, love sign.
Sorry.
Their live, laugh, love sign.
Yeah. There's a big marble statue of like a Goliath,
Not good.
but it has
Kiki's-
shorts on. Like someone put the shorts on it.
Shit.
Yeah. Wait, does shorts and like sandals?
Yeah. And there are socks. You don't know how because the feet are attached to the base because it looks like a single
Mhm.
piece.
Where there's a
Like
will, there's a
someone-
way.
So
Like someone knit them on
Yeah.
around the statue. All right, so Kiki's writing down a list of things for brainstorming later. She just wants to figure out what we have to work with and maybe where we could hide stuff behind and all that good shit.
Allie is making suggestions for the list, but if you're already making the list, she'll let you be the keeper of it.
Yeah, this is a case where another character of mine who's a bard would have some amazing spells, like animate objects. There's so much Satara could do, but Kiki's a little more limited. All right. Okay,
So
but
I'm
she
thinking
takes
like,
notes of things.
so Allie would like via the Slap chat kind of be communicating that timing wise, we probably want to make this happen not too long before the actual judging, so that she doesn't have time to fix it.
Oh yes, morning of, if possible, or or maybe night before or something like that. But if there are like actual like living flowers and stuff like that, again through Slapchat, Kiki will be like suggest that maybe Elsoth could make like a hard frost or something. Like she's just brainstorming now, right? Like, yeah, okay.
Yep. Allie is so So I think that we'll do our brainstorming back at the our house, so that we're not like just sitting out in front of this person's house for ages. But
So there's one other thing that Bendo notices, and Thrax looking at it. There is this gazebo structure that has a very large, like, green stalk in it. And Thrax looking at it, and she's looking at it, and they're like, oh no. And they explain to you this is like one of those flowers that blooms at a very specific time and like once.
Oh.
Is it due to
bloomed yet? Clearly.
blooms?
It has not
can we
bloomed,
tell?
and they're contemplating that this is probably going to bloom shortly, probably on competition day or very like close to that.
What if it blooms before that?
Mhm.
So actually, I think Allie can make that happen. Actually. Yeah. Yeah. No, so I'm assuming that we're kind of walking on at this point, so we're not just like standing in front of the shop.
Yeah, you've returned
100%.
to your home and you're like
Okay.
battle map out.
Glitter glue and gel
Stickers,
markers.
lots of
Yeah.
stickers.
So Nikki, you know how I was helping your
There's a
farmers out
cabinet.
with kind of that like slow growing spell to, just help the field to be a little more fertile?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Can also do a quick version of it,
Ooh.
which makes everything overgrow and start blooming really quickly.
Ooh.
Oh, like it's not been like an unkempt yard. Tisk.
Absolutely love it.
Kiki will walk over to Bosco and she's
Mhm.
like, "You in?" She's like, "You in with this like plan?
He
Ocean's
nods to
6
you.
or whatever." She's like, "Special assignment." She wags her eyebrows at him, and she leans down and she whispers in his ear to see, "Do you want me to?" I actually don't care if the rest of the party knows, but I kind of. She has a special assignment for Bosco.
I don't want to know as a player.
Okay, excellent. I'll message you, Scoop.
Mhm. I think I know where you're going, but we'll see.
I think I'm pretty sure you
Yeah,
probably know
I've
where
got
I'm going.
ideas. Certainly,
I've got ideas.
I've got
Okay.
a dream. I've got a dream.
Okay, folks. So what is let's take to make sure we do this. I'll pull out the hourglass. You have until it runs out to come up with the plan.
Okay, so things that we definitely want to do. We want to use my plant growth to make everything grow way more quickly than it's supposed to.
Kiki can do all kinds of like smoke bombs, stink bombs. She's obviously not going to do anything deadly, although making noise would be interesting somehow. She's going to have to think about that a little bit.
I think stink bombs are a good choice because, especially if you can make the stink bomb smell like something is rotting inside the house, and we could like roll one of them under the porch or something.
Or have like a pressure trap, so if like one of the judges comes by and steps on it, like the scent comes out.
Hmm. Yeah, she can work it. Okay, she'll go with the various like a variety of not nice spells. She's got one very, very in particular that she wants to. Yeah, that she's got it right. But other things will just be to like make it generally unpleasant. And then she. So do you want overgrown dead plants, like, or do you just want overgrown like, oh, tis she let you, like, how obvious are we being? Do you know what I mean? Like, in other words, are we going for more subtle, like she's really let down her standards, or is it like we're full on punking and pranking her house? Because I'm comfortable either way. But you see where I'm going, right?
Yeah. So Allie would actually rather not kill the flowers if possible. Like
Okay.
if we can leave them alive, she prefers that. She's just let's make the plant growth spell will hit everything in that kind of small proximity. It's not just going to be like the flowers get overgrown, like the grass, the weeds, all of the weeds. That flower is going to bloom and then it's going to stop blooming. Like it all just gets accelerated massively.
Okay. We'll ask around like what time is the judging tour, because we're like, oh gosh, we're tourists and we just love to be on this like house tour or whatever and like get a sense of when it will happen.
Yeah, so it's going to start at what is it functioning like 7 a.m. and they're going to start working their way down the rows, and they have them listed of what houses are when. So everyone, they spend like roughly like a half an hour at each house, trying to keep it on track. She would go at about 12:30 p.m.
Okay, so Kiki can make timers on the bombs. Like we could do the pressure thing, but she could also just make it like slightly before that they go off. She would just need to kind of like bury them in certain locations or make them look like yard archers or something like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Did she have a pool in her yard? Or fountain? I can't remember. I wonder if there's a way we can make the water nasty. Yeah. Who could You can go. Who can go invisible? Nikki, you can.
Yeah, I can make me and I think 2 other people invisible.
I think I might ask you to make
I've
Bosco
got- Oh,
invisible.
I could make all of us invisible.
I think
We could
that
do
might
a
be.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know that making us all invisible is the way we want to go. I think just.
Some.
Yep. 'Cause
So
being
I think there's some things we can do in advance, like your spell, right,
right.
Allie, and then Kiki's bombs. But if there are things that, like, Nikki, if you want to like color the water, like Kiki can give you a dye that makes it look like the filter's broken, or just like
Love
glossy
it.
and nasty.
Yeah, just like a kind of like gross greeny brown.
Yep. So if you could,
Yes.
like rusted brown, green, nasty, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you if you want to like turn visible and do that, and then
Yeah.
goes
Love
for
it.
secret mission, that might be like right beforehand or something, just because otherwise she might turn off the fountain, or I don't know. It's going to be a lot to deal with regardless. Other ideas? This is like relatively nice for us, I have to say. Like, we're not like have Elsoth like freeze the foundation and cracks paved stones or shit like that. Like, yeah.
You are on vacation.
That is true. Okay.
Let's get at it.
All right. So Kiki will want to do a couple different stink bombs. One near the kitchen with the spoiled food odor. That was Allie's suggestion. One, and at least one near the fence. And then if there's a garden, she'll also maybe do one for the garden that's like rotting vegetable matter kind of smell. So those are what she's going to do.
Yep.
So 3 ones.
Allie is in charge of, so she's going to use Key to duplicate the effects of plant growth.
So those will be, you're going to do that the night before, yeah?
I was planning to do that like
Or when?
the morning.
How fast?
Like morning.
Oh
of,
yeah,
I
that
think,
makes sense. Okay. And what's the range?
I think basically, if I'm at the edge of her yard, I can make it work.
Okay. Kiki might ask the night before if you could turn her invisible, Nikki, so she can plant the bombs.
Yeah. Easily.
And then the day of, it could be like you and Bosco or what have you.
If Allie could also be invisible day of, so that nobody sees her just like standing on the sidewalk,
Yeah.
and then spell happens.
Love it. My slots are all ready for pranking.
Right, so you all get ready. Kiki, you go in. So Kiki, make me a stealth check as you are invisible. So you're going to make this with advantage. You move in and plant these things.
Thank the gods, I have advantage because I 28.
Critical fail though, 28. So you're able to plant the ones.
Thank you, Nikki.
You're able to plant the ones
you.
outside. The door does not have a hard lock on it between your tools. You're able to kind of pop it, and you plant all of those things.
Okay. So one near the kitchen. It could be like near the kitchen door or something.
Mm-hmm.
One near the fence, like where she thinks the main visitors are going to come to look, and then one by the gardens. She'll bury it and try to make it look as unobtrusive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them, Yeah. And then she will GTFO.
Okay. Anything else during the evening?
She'll prep Bosco. So team.
Bosco is
prep
ready.
that.
Bosco is ready. Anything else for the evening besides that, folks? Are you all going to watch this happen, by the way?
I think we're all
hell
planning
yes.
to join the whole tour, basically, so that like it can look like like, oh, we're stopping to see all of this.
Lovely towns, homes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a terrible
100%.
thing to do on a vacation. Yeah, we're gonna look at some architecture and go
They don't know who we are.
be quietly snipey about McMahon style details.
Kiki will ask Tessa if she wants to go shopping for big floppy beach hats. for the day of, so we can walk around. Anyone else welcome too, but
I'll have
we're not going to be invisible, so.
I'll have to try and figure out how that's gonna fit over my horns, but it's worth a shot.
Oh, Kiki will gladly help. She'll try to
Making
trim
like
out.
holes,
I forgot
like the
about
big
that.
sunglasses and like
Yeah,
straw hat.
Yeah.
Sipping on like a mojito.
that's right. So we just want to be like, oh gosh, this town's so quaint. We love it.
Yeah. So the tour begins, and like there are some lovely homes, and there's definitely that vibe of people that have been there forever, right? Like those homes, like they were built here back in the day, and it's been passed down from person to person. And then there's some folks that definitely acquired them homes and zhuzhed them up a bit, and it ranges from like not opulent, but definitely like this is a selling point for people, and sometimes people are just like, yeah, we've done it forever, so we're just going to keep doing it. We don't really care if we win. And then the tour group begins to approach the target house.
So Kiki and Tessa will use our, the slap chats to like alert Team Invisible that we're like 10 minutes away or whatever, like.
I feel like Brax and Tessa are playing the pretend like suburban couple routine, just like looking at the houses, secretly doing the
honey.
slap chat.
Oh, honey, maybe one day we can have a place like that. I love it.
Yep, and you're holding, obviously Tessa's holding Bosco, so eventually he wiggles out and hops down and bolts off.
No, my dog, come back.
Oh no! Don't go over there. No.
Don't do that. Oh, well, he's gone. I've done everything I can.
Yeah.
No, I tried so hard.
So you see, the folks that are invisible see that this woman is inside prepping things, getting things ready, and you folks notice Bosco is kind of like hiding. He's doing like that dog sneak when clearly he's not being very stealthy, but he's sort of just looking back for the tour group and waiting, and you see him slip around the fence, and he just waits there.
Is he supposed to be invisible at this point?
Okay. He's part of Team Invisible. Whatever point you do the thing, yeah.
Okay, so when I see him being not very sneaky, going towards the fence, I'll run over to try to get the poor lady's dog who has escaped her. And I'll go and reach for him, and I just got his tail, and he slipped away, and cast invisibility.
So he's gone.
I'll do it on both of us. Actually, I'll kind of like tumble behind the fence as well. Gone.
Yep, and you feel though, Nikki, like as you tumble, like you hit something like big and floofy, and it feels like Bosco's chest floof, but he's big, like he's mount sized.
He's gone large. Okay.
He's gone large.
I'm just gonna let it happen, and I'm just gonna make my way over to the fountain.
Okay.
Get my little dye vial ready to go. I'm gonna try to time it. Okay. I'm by like the intake side. I'm gonna try to time it so that like we come around the corner, and like the fountain initially looks fine. And then, like, as people are kind of, like, looking and, like, oh, it's so beautiful, like, it starts to go, like, oh, like, here's like, the rusty, gross water coming out, like...
Got it. Allie, have you hit it with the plant growth?
Yeah, so I would have been invisible walking into town, do the plant growth, and then, like, meet up with everybody kind of in one of the, like, the shops where we're getting floppy beach hats. And just come out of a dressing room like, of course I was in the dressing room. Look, I've got a fluffy beach hat now.
Obviously, over my horns.
I was here the whole time.
So you, Rob, as you're kind of staring there, and like there's this, like the plants just start growing, and you see that like vines are wrapping up around trees, and they've like the weight has snapped some of the gazebo, and it's definitely tilting because it is not. These plants are much bigger and much thicker than they were previously. And then you see a giant pile of dog shit appear. But dog shit as if it was made by a horse. Or a horse-sized dog. And like, even for you're like, yeah, but... I
thought it was going to be pee.
Oh, no. Kiki was spoon feeding him like beans and stuff last
Oh,
night.
no.
She's like ready.
Nikki, make a con save, please.
Also, thanks for that, by the way. It was a rough night.
Sorry. Thought he had his own room.
A 22.
Yeah, you're like, I mean, this smells like the worst college bathroom ever, but you'll get through it.
Right. So I've got my vial with one hand like ready to pour, and the other hand I have my focus shaken off my wrist. I'm just like frantically casting prestidigitation, like in front of me, just like over and over and over.
Spraying Febreze in your face.
Who's got the little recording box?
Oh, Kem does.
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We need to make sure to get proof of this.
Because Bendo has leaned into sort of like the straight woman role, and she's like really chatting this up and playing the diplomat and like really making like a big thing of it. And then so the tour group, the woman comes out, she comes out of the front of her house, you folks go into the front of the house where like everything's fine, everything's great, and then she opens the back door in this grand sweeping gesture, and the smell immediately hits you. Kiki, are you detonating the...
Oh, they were set on timers.
Oh, they were set on timers,
Yeah.
so then all of a sudden there's like the smell from Bosco outside, and then more smells start cropping up from the bombs that Kiki has set, and people are just like, oh, and then they book it out of the house and just into the street away from whatever. And
He's like vomiting in the street.
This
Kiki will cast
horrible nightmare.
prestidigitation. She'll cast prestidigitation for like sounds of like whispers and like chatting and gossip, just to permeate. Like just these little like crowd. Like, can you imagine? Like these little sort of
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
just terrible.
So unfortunately, what happens next is you hear a very large fart noise, and Bosco starts freaking out and barking, and he unfortunately attacks nothing because he spooked himself, but that makes him visible.
He attacks his own tail.
Yeah, he attacks his own tail. And he's like, oh wait, that's mine. And the woman just looks at him and she goes, "You," and she picks up a shovel and goes for Bosco.
Oh no! Oh, that bitch did
I will
not.
absolutely get there first.
I am going to defend my dog.
So Allie's moving already, and she puts herself between the woman and Bosco, and in like that tone that you take when like a toddler has done something dumb, or like a dog has just shit on your lawn, she's gonna say to the woman, "No, you do not hit animals. No."
Kiki
Love
will
it.
switch the prestidigitation to like shock, like people going, like this little sounds like, oh my god, like how could she dare, this sort of thing.
She is going to attempt to shove you out of the way.
Who?
Allie.
Oh, Allie?
Allie got in front. Allie is much faster than this one because Allie's faster than everybody.
That's true.
Critical fail, so she falls down.
Oh my god.
So she takes the
pile of
shovel and just hucks it at Bosco. But you're in front of him, Allie, so...
Are you gonna grab the missile? Is that like the monk thing where you like...
Missile.
Go ahead. It's a shovel, and she'd not throw
Right.
very hard.
So
Is she proficient in throwing
No.
shovels?
She's proficient at throwing
that is-
tantrums,
right.
but this is not
my
that.
dex modifier plus my monk level, which is so 12 plus.
Proficient at tantrums. So good.
Okay. So it's. Yeah, that's math, right? So would it have done more than 25 damage?
No.
Great, then I've caught it.
So, she just chucks it like a spear. Allie just quickly catches it, spins it in her hand, and now you have it.
Yes.
What do
I'm
you-
going
yeah.
to
You can throw it back at her, actually. You're high enough.
I could, but that would not be the right way to handle this particular situation. I'm instead going to just place it down next to the pile of shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what it's clearly going to need to be used for later.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll turn to Bosco.
Who is
And kinda give
small
him
now, by the way.
I figured.
Puppy eyes.
Well, he just scampers off back to Tessa, like, "Oh, I'm
Oh.
so scared," and he just leaps
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Tessa.
Yep. Help me! I'm scared.
Yeah.
There's something Kiki
Alice
wants to
gonna
do
kind of
once you're done.
walk back over to the judges and apologize for causing a fuss, but I couldn't let her hit that poor dog.
Okay. Kiki.
Kiki will just sort of like talk to the people and others. So she's like, and she'll use like her mimic like someone's voice, and she'll just be, like, well, no wonder that dog was probably drawn to all these horrible smells. Like, could hardly blame the dog. Like,
Yeah, like
sort of...
Bendo is feeding you lines to mimic.
Yes, exactly. Good.
Yeah.
She's like, gas between. I caught the vapors. She's like, I can hardly blame the
So
poor
the woman
dog."
just gets up, sees that Tessa has the dog in her hands, walks
bring
up to Tessa, and reels back and attempts to slap Tessa in the face.
Good fucking luck, nerd.
Smite.
I'm just gonna hold. I'm just gonna grab her wrist.
Make a dex check, Tessa.
Like just straight death.
Straight dex. Let's see if you can catch it.
Get advantage on it because she's
17.
closer to me and wombo combo shit.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll with advantage.
Crit.
Nice.
You catch it with this like alley-like speed. You're just like, Ksh. So you have her hand. She tries with the other one, and it misses you wildly because you're taller than you're pushing her back.
I'm sorry. Were you trying to harm my animal?
That beast ruined my yard, and I'm gonna have you pay for it.
I'm going to slowly crush her wrist.
Strength check, please, with advantage.
This little angel with wings.
Yeah, and Thrax like scoops up Bosco, so you have
15.
your other hand. I'll roll with advantage. She's super.
That
quick.
is advantage.
Advantage. Okay. Wow. Nope. She just starts buckling under the pressure, as her very dainty wrists are just being crushed by Tessa's fucking hands.
I'm going to try to persuade her to go back into her house with her tail between her legs and say, "Look, you're making a fool out of yourself. Don't make this worse than it is."
Persuasion check with advantage. This is.
Does a 36 work?
Yep. And Tessa does that very like polite, firm talking that isn't quite an intimidation, but almost.
You're going to do this thing now because it would be the smart thing to do.
Because I can flick my wrist and break your arm. So she's terrified of you, clearly, but she's trying to hold it together, and she just goes, "I can't do that if you're all in my house." And like at this point, like the judges have just left. It's basically you and your friends, and like Bendo is, and is like holding on to.
Okay, so the judges aren't there?
They've left. They're just like, well, we're moving on to the next house, but everyone else is watching.
Okay, we're gonna leave. One thing first. So Tessa drags her by the wrist so that she's standing in front of her couch and slaps her across the face as she falls down onto the couch.
Attack roll with advantage, please. Unarmed, so.
Ooh, that's still a lot.
Still a lot. You're a strong gal.
Are you gonna pump smite into it?
No.
Don't attack my dog.
Do I get advantage on that?
Yeah.
Is it 22?
Yeah, you knock her ass straight to the fucking couch. If you
only
roll me a d4 plus your strength mod. See how much damage you do.
She's a civilian. Please don't kill her.
And
Kill her. Bring her back. And then
You
kill her.
break her nose.
you might want to get that looked at later
Mm-hmm.
Is she
and just
gone?
walk out.
Ooh.
Thrax turns with you, and he has Bosco, and he waves Bosco's paw as he follows you out.
And
And
Kim takes a picture now.
yeah, Kem's been taking him.
Oh,
for
good.
when he thinks he's in, he just takes a quick snap of that. Lovely home, and he walks out with Bendo in tow.
Lovely.
He is already
the
left,
sass.
and she's made a beeline for whoever like the community reporter is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Saw the whole thing. So shocking." such shock, like, oh wow, like such wow.
It's so shocking.
She's like, tried to hit dog, that angel, and then she mimics like Bosco's
Yeah.
little wings, and then she's like, state of yard, bad before dog. She's like, so she's like feeding like
Yeah, the judge is like,
local
well,
tourists.
her mother was a problem, and we don't when like they're like apologizing to everyone that's around. It's like, this is not how Shore Point operates. Her mother had problems, so like please we're just gonna move on to the next house, and we'll deal with that later.
Can you put her in last place?
Yeah, I mean, she was probably gonna be close anyway, so I mean after that.
But like, by just make sure it posts like with a ridiculous margin, like it's just really, really low.
We will have to keep to our scoring system, man, but we appreciate your feedback.
Fair enough.
Oh, I love it.
So the rest of your lovely, lovely time at the beach is pretty much just, unprankily eventful. It's very relaxing and very, just having a good time. You return to the Crossroads, and Ben is there waiting for you. How'd it go?
Fantastic.
Quite pleasant.
Okay,
A lovely house.
thank you. Do you have that thing I gave you?
I'm assuming Ken hands it over.
Cam hands it to him, and he scrolls through it. Oh, beautiful. Wow, her nose is fucked. Oof.
She
Moore's gonna
tried
love
to
this.
hit Tessa's dog. Well, she tried to hit Bosco's person.
His face drops, and there's a look of murder in his eyes that, she's probably lucky it was Tessa.
You don't
Yeah.
mess. You don't fuck with animals.
Yep.
People, yes. You don't fuck with animals.
Yeah, so I'm going to show this to Mora, and we'll figure out a nice way to compensate you folks. I hope you did enjoy the cab, the house. Yeah, and, if you ever want to rent it again, please let us know.
I mean, it was payment enough for me to slap her, but okay.
And you folks head back to the peaks. It's a bit colder here, certainly, as you're not at the beach, but it is, sort of good to be home. About another day goes by, it's fairly uneventful, when two Arakoa arrive, one to the Quellback estate and one to the temple, each bearing a message from Storm's Ire.
Ooh.
Okay.
They both inform you that there is a issue coming, they have gotten word from their allies in Kavas, over in Lasana, that a number of the deposed stewards are planning to invade the peaks.
Oh dear.
And you have been, called up to help defend the peaks.
All right.
Fair, yeah. That's what we're here for.
We do.
And that is where we will pick up next time.
Okay.
So thank you all for coming to Ryam, and we will see you next time.